8 is upon us. The close of interconference warfare is upon us. And PPL Live is upon us. GENO the Gent here with my boy ULYSSES getting you guys all set up for another week of PPL action as we close interconference warfare with our prestige matchup of the week. We have the Argonauts taking on Patty's Twins. All right, Ulysses, the two most storied franchises in PPL history, 5 Pantheon Cups between them. This was a rematch of Pantheon Cup 1 and Pantheon Cup 8. The two teams split those two championship games, and now they're all set for war to close out interconference warfare. What do you think of this matchup?
I love this matchup. Week 8, we're starting to get into playoff talk. These two are vying for not just playoff spots, but supremacy on Alpha and Omega.
Right.
Both coming off wins. But I think that both of these rosters are starting to get banged up. I just look at the Argos. I think they're relying on a lot of guys that are banged up. But if those guys suit up, then he should be all right. I think that he's got really good defense and coach matchups this week.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Aaron's going to hit 50 points again ever.
Right.
So I think that right now, I think that there's a lot more pressure on the Twins here. I think they did have a bounce back week last week. Had some guys blowing up on the bench. I think that they have it here. It's just I think they're going to have to really look at their lineups and find what the right combination is going to be.
Agreed.
I think it's pretty straightforward for the Argos with Zeke and Dak on the bye. It's straightforward, and I think that they should carry this one. I've got the Argonauts winning this 123-111.
All right. I'm going to have to disagree with you, man. While I do like, the Argonauts have left no doubt the last 2 weeks. They're back to being what we expected them to be to start the season. But the arrogance of these guys, the sheer arrogance. I mean, they're trotting out Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback against Patty's Twins, who sits atop the Omega Conference. I don't like that play at all. I saw that they also got cute with the coach late last week. They had a coach pickup at 9:57 for the Rams. It worked out in their favor, but the arrogance, I felt like it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't really like that. But looking at the matchup itself, you're right. Josh Jacobs, he acquired an injury. Devontae Adams, he still hasn't played for the last 3 weeks. Julio Jones, we don't know what the quarterback situation looks like in Atlanta right now. And then George Kittle, he's battling a groin injury. So there's reason for doubt on the Argonaut side. James Conner, even coming off of a bye, has a quadriceps injury. So it's a lot going on with the Argonauts. I don't know if this is as easy a win as you're making it out to be, Ulysses. When I look at Patty's Twins, Aaron Rodgers has got another cake matchup against the Kansas City defense. I think that with Patrick Mahomes not being in the lineup, it's going to be a little less pressure on Aaron, and he's going to play free, and I think he's going to have a great game. Tevin Coleman is pretty much the bell cow in San Francisco. I know Matt Breida spells him and can break a big run, but Tevin Coleman is getting 20 touches per game in that offense now, so I'm liking Tevin there. And then Twins need to keep Austin Eckler in the lineup. I don't care what happens with Melvin Gordon. Austin Eckler showed that he can be that guy. Looking around, I like the Niners coach against Carolina. I do like the Rams against the Cincinnati Bengals. But like I said, I like the Twins just a little bit more. I like some of their just the matchup plays. Now, they play it pretty close to the vest every time they play the Argonauts. You don't know what their lineup's going to be until Sunday morning. They like to keep that air of secrecy. And I like their options. I got Patty's Twins winning this matchup 124 to 116. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo play is going to bite the Argonauts. Moving on to our next matchup in the PPL, we have the Mean Machine taking on the Skulls. All right, man. The Skulls got back on track, getting their win behind Le'Veon Bell. Saved by the bell, as we should say. And then Mean Machine, oh my gosh, had a terrible week last week in their loss to the Twins. What do you got in this one?
Yeah, I think that this is two teams treading in opposite directions.
Okay.
The Skulls, they're just finding ways to get it done. wasn't pretty last week, but a win's a win.
Right.
And it was a beatable team, and it was a matchup that I think in hindsight, I mean, if this team can keep it up and make it playoff push, it's one of those games that they had to win. So kudos. Flip side, I mean, Mean Machine, I don't see how it gets turned around this week. Carson Wentz, it's not there right now in Philly. I don't think that's I mean, it may be the best play he has right now, but I don't think it's the play. I think you can go out there and find another QB that would probably have a better day against Buffalo.
Right.
That Buffalo defense, I think, is going to be pretty stout in Buffalo too. So I just look at the scoring potential on the other side, and I think that, again, Deshaun Watson, that Oakland game might be tied scoring.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know if I would keep Boyd in the lineup. I think that there was a couple disappointing plays last week. I think Emmanuel Sanders needs to get in the lineup.
Right.
Going to San Francisco. I'm just looking around. I think that I would make a couple of lineup changes, but I think regardless, I think that these are two very evenly matched teams that really, again, can't afford to drop a game. There's clear separation between the winners and losers in the PPL.
Right.
These guys are on the bottom of the winners bubble, in my opinion, and somebody's going to have to fall out. And so I think that the Skulls can get it done this week, though. I've got them winning this game 125-118.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. Carson Wentz, what I saw Sunday night was alarming. He seemed rattled. He seemed that like completely out of his element. He didn't even target Zach Ertz that much, so you knew that his head was spinning against that Dallas pass rush. I don't think he's going to get much better against Buffalo this week. I'm with you on that one. Alvin Kamara, I mean, he made me lose a couple of snaps to Latavius. Latavius looked highly impressive against that Bears defense. And they want to keep Alvin Kamara fresh, so I think that he may even lose a few touches here and there. Don't like the Devin Singletary play. This is a committee backfield in Buffalo. Michael Thomas still remains to me the best receiver in the PPL right now, so I do like that play. But yeah, going along the line, I just don't like the Machine's lineup this week. Odell gets a trip to Foxborough. That's going to be horrible for him and the Browns. And then on the Skull side, Deshaun Watson, man, against one of the worst you saw what Aaron Rodgers did to the Raiders. Deshaun Watson gets these guys at home. I'm loving Deshaun this week. Le'Veon, he's seen greater days as an Argo and as a Steeler. As a Jet and as a Skull, it just has not materialized. I love Aaron Jones against that Kansas City run defense. And I like Marvin Jones Jr. This brother had 4 touchdowns last week. I think that him and Matthew Stafford are going to try to build on that. Waller is an exceptional young tight end. He's looking like one of the best in the game already. And I expect Devonta Freeman to bounce back. I'm with you, man. I got the Skulls winning this matchup. I say they leave no doubt, man. I'm going Skulls 140, Mean Machine 115. Moving on to our next matchup in the PPL, we have Only for the Boss taking on the Gaff Attack. All right, man. Only for the Boss got a big win, unforeseen win by thanks to Latavius Murray's heroics, as well as Tyreek Hill making a big play. And then on the Gaff side, they fell to their hated rivals, the Argonauts. They even went through an identity crisis through last week, changing their name. Now they're the Gaff again. What do you got here? What's going on with these guys?
I mean, this is what happens when I think we've seen what happens when the Gaff feels like legitimate run towards the finish line is out of reach. I think that's what we're seeing. I know a few years back in similar circumstances, it was a new name every week.
Right.
So I think that I think that where they were and losing again, I think that I think he's shook.
Okay.
You never want to be the guy in the next year struggling. I know owners that are experiencing similar circumstances.
Right.
It's not fun.
Right.
That being said, I think that they get it done this week. I just like the matchups across the board. I think Philadelphia's defense is terrible. The Jets are terrible. So I think that we talked about it in the last matchup. Houston should go nuts against Oakland. DeAndre should be a big beneficiary. Miami's garbage. Just the matchups that the Gaff has this week. He's playing some butter soft defenses, And I think that the Packers coach against KC is a good call. I mean, without Patrick Mahomes, this team is going to look different. I don't care what happened last week.
Right.
And I just don't know if the offensive production is going to be there. And with so many eggs in that basket, I'm just not sure. So I think that the Gap does get it done this week. But I think that it's nobody's looking at this matchup at this point in the season. I think the Gap gets it 111, 107 against Only for the Boss.
Now, spot on, man. I have to agree completely. The Boss did go get Matthew Stafford. He's got a sweet matchup against the Giants D. So Stafford could, do some damage, but he's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Let's just get that out of the way. If Alvin Kamara does come back, that kills Latavius Murray. So that kills one of the bigger point, producers for Only for the Boss in their win last week. I do love Stephon Diggs tomorrow against the Redskins on Thursday night. But like you said, Mahomes' injury is going to leave a lot to be desired for Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Now on the Gaff side, matchups. You saw that Philly defense on Sunday night, right?
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah. Josh Allen's going to get that. Cincinnati, we saw that trash against the Jags, right? That's Todd Gurley. The New York Jets, we all saw that on Monday night. Leonard Fournette, D-Hop against the Raiders, Juju against the Dolphins. There's nothing else to talk about. I've got the Gaff winning this matchup. I think they have a big week. I think they get what they couldn't get last week. I say they get to about 130 to the Boss's 99. Moving on to our next matchup in the PPL, we have Squad Underestimated taking on Appease the Gods. All right, man, this isn't quite a rivalry, but there's a lot of back and forth throughout the history of these two teams, a lot of needling back and forth. Now, Squad's coming off of a loss to the United Players, the Destroyers. They couldn't match on point for point like I thought they would. And then ATG getting that heartbreaking loss to Only for the Boss. The Boss actually showed up, even with an injured Patrick Mahomes. Bad luck for both of these teams. Who luck's changed this week, man?
I think Appease the Gods. I think Appease the Gods gets it right.
Okay.
I think these are the teams most impacted by the Baltimore Ravens being on the bye.
Right.
But the players that Squad is losing, there's just not the kind of depth that Appease the Gods has with Russ being out there.
Right.
I think that Russell Wilson and Chris Carson are going to have a field day in Atlanta. I think that the Jags coach, again, the Jets are terrible. Bills against Philadelphia. I mean, again, this is a matchup week for me. I look at the other side, and I mean, they're not in the lineup yet, but Panthers D against in San Francisco, I don't know.
Right.
Kirk Cousins back in Washington. This is an opportunity for Kirk Cousins to be the man,
right?
And show it against his former team. I don't think it happened. I'm not a believer. Saquon's clearly not there. Christian McCaffrey's not. I mean, hell, he might have a good day, but it ain't going to be the kind of days that we've been seeing.
Right.
Patriots are going to win.
Okay.
So I just think that in some key positions, Appease the Gods has it, and hell, eventually they got to get it right. I think that we're in the point in the season where depth is really becoming apparent for teams.
Right.
And Squad doesn't have the depth, and this is a game he cannot afford to lose. And I think, honestly, if he can't win this game, he shouldn't expect to make the playoffs. Because if you can't beat an 0-7 team to really keep your playoff hopes alive, I mean, really, you're not going to be striking fear in nobody going forward.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got to Appease the Gods. I think that they leave no doubt this week. I think that they go 136 to 121.
Okay. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't know about leaving no doubt, but I do see an opening for Appease the Gods this week. Yes, they're 0-7, but it's a very deceptive 0-7. When I'm looking at Squad Underestimated, like you said, Kirk, he just leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't think I could ever put him in my lineup and be completely comfortable, even against a Washington team that, they're expected to run all over and do their thing on. That could be a big Dalvin Cook week. I like Saquon against Detroit. Detroit's got a pretty average run defense. I think Saquon will do his thing. I don't like Christian McCaffrey this week. The Niners are one of the best in the league against running backs as far as receiving running backs. They don't let running backs catch the ball and get anywhere with it. And that's part of Christian McCaffrey's bread and butter. So I like the Niners there. And then, like you said, he's going to go with the Panthers defense. I think Emmanuel Sanders may have a big day and open up that offense for the Niners. Philip Dorsett, I like that play. It's a solid play. I don't love it. And then Philip Lindsay against Indianapolis. Indianapolis is playing some great defense, so I don't really like that start either. ATG side, I'm looking at Russell Wilson. Love his matchup against Atlanta. You saw what Jared Goff did to them last week. Russ is going to try to get back on track. The Baltimore Ravens left a sour taste in his mouth. I expect him and Chris Carson to both have 20-plus point weeks. Joe Mixon is going to be tough sledding against that Rams defense. But it is in London, so they may be able to, a few odd things could happen for Joe. I love Mike Evans coming back after the bye, and Allen Robinson. He's an elite receiver in this league that doesn't have a quarterback. Like, if you wanted to see what a guy that's tight without a quarterback looks like, look at Allen Robinson. I think that if he was on a team with, say, an Aaron Rodgers or something like that, this guy would be a household name. I love Hunter Henry. I love Shady McCoy. I love the matchups for ATG. I think that they get their first win and probably the biggest upset of the season. I got Appease the Gods, defeating Squad underestimated, 122 to 116. And moving on to our final matchup in the PPL, we have the Baby Gas team taking on the United Players, the Destroyers. All right, man, the UP flexing muscle. That Patriots defense, goodness gracious, it's ridiculous. And then, the Baby Gas team, you know what, man, they're fighting. They're putting a lot of effort into this season. Hats off to them, but they lost a close one. What do you got here?
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker. I mean, especially with the day Wade Dalvin was running last week. I really think that the Matt Ryan injury, though, that's the tale of the tape for me here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is going to be a competitive matchup, but I'm going to say it right now. The United Players are my pick to win the PPL this year.
Oh, wow.
At this point in the season, they put up, at this point in the season, they're putting up more than 100 points per other opponent.
Right.
What I'm more impressed by, and I have to take my hats off to them, they've only made one roster move this season.
Right.
So this is the team that they drafted.
And that's par for the course for these guys. They're not very active.
No, they're not. But, normally they do wacky stuff on draft night. And really, we called it. They drafted really well, I think.
Yeah.
I think that we're seeing it. Chris Godwin's coming back. Patriots D is going to go nuts.
Right.
We've seen Baker Mayfield look less than professional this season. And the Patriots are out for exposure. I think that he's going to be in a position where he doesn't even have to play a coach here.
Okay.
You don't even have to roll the dice on Sunday night. Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, the Patriots as a whole. They're going to go out and dominate. I just look at the other side, and again, you just don't have the quarterback. Mark Ingram's on the bye. There's just not enough here for me to be convinced that they're going to be competitive. I've got United Players winning this one, 127 to. I think that the Baby Gas team stumbles this week. I'm going to put them at 98.
I'm calling the upset. I'm going the other way, man. I'm looking at Sony Michel. I think he's going to have another maybe 2 or 3 touchdown game against Cleveland. I think they're going to be ahead by so much, and they're going to be getting in the red zone left and right, and I think Sony's going to be cashing in again. I love Dalvin tomorrow against the Redskins. I told you about that. And if Matt Ryan does play, the Seahawks aren't the most daunting matchup like they used to be. So I think that Matt Ryan could possibly be all right if he does play. I like Larry Fitzgerald this week against the Saints. I think that the Saints are going to be ahead. The Cardinals are going to be playing catch up, and Larry could get some garbage. And then T.Y. Hilton against Denver. Denver's been really bad. Aside from that Tennessee game, their defense has just not been very good this year. I loved the Gerald Everett pickup at tight end. Him and Jared Goff are starting to get a rapport. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is Melvin Gordon. This guy fumbled the game away for the Baby Gas team last week on the goal line with zero seconds left on the clock. I mean, if he scores that touchdown, the Baby Gas team win their matchup. So it just really, really, got stale with Melvin Gordon this quickly following his holdout. Now on the United Players side, while I do agree that the Patriots defense is going to do really well, I think Tom's starting to show his age a little bit, man. And I think that the Baby Gas team is going to get the residuals because of Sony Michel. I'm looking at James White. He's not as effective as he used to be. They're really going, with real running backs. They're not using him as much out of the backfield as before. Now, that could change any week with Bill Belichick. You just never know. I like the Kenny Stills play. And obviously, I love Cooper Kupp. Chris Godwin comes back against Tennessee, but I think Mike Evans is going to be the one with the big game. I'm calling the upset, man. I got the Baby Gas team winning this matchup 129 to 126. I think it's going to be extremely close, extremely competitive, but the BGT is going to score a big upset. All right, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. Interconference warfare ends this week, and when we go back into Alpha and Omega, GENO the Gent and ULYSSESS signing off.